owner took legal action after she says the mayor refused to sign paperwork she needed to open her business. Regina Waldrop was in the court for today's hearing.
This is the third time this year that this case has been before a Cook County judge. Today, the owners of the business are able to walk away with 2 of the 3 liquor licenses they applied for, while Mayor Henyard is facing a serious charge from the judge. Frustration and relief for a small business owner. It's about time.
A flood of emotions hit a small business owner today. Relief, mixed with lingering frustration. After months of bureaucratic setbacks and a bitter legal standoff, Tiffany Kamar finally emerged from a Cook County courtroom, holding in her hands the long-fought-for liquor licenses documents essential to bringing her dream to life. These permits represent the final missing piece for St. Patrick's, a family-owned restaurant deeply rooted in the local community. For Kamar and her family, this was not just a legal milestone, was the moment their vision started turning into reality.
Over, like you said, in November.
Kamar had turned to the courts for help after repeatedly being denied those crucial licenses by Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who also serves as the town's liquor commissioner. On Wednesday, Judge Cecilia Herron ordered Henyard to sign off on the licenses by 5 p.m. the following day. But that deadline came and went without any action. The delay only deepened the resentment among Kamar's supporters. This kind of political maneuvering is nothing new for the so-called big city mayor. Nearly a year ago, I reported on her tactics to coerce business owners who refused to fork over cash. Kamar, a fellow black entrepreneur, is one of many pushed to the edge by Tiffany Teflon Tahoe Mayport. Her long track record of obstruction has left scars all across the community. She has been stonewalling Kamar every step of the way, withholding the very permits needed to open the restaurant, causing not just financial bleeding, but emotional and physical exhaustion. The lawsuit consumed her attention and drained resources that were supposed to build a lasting legacy. Now, Kamar has finally made a breakthrough, just as Tiffany Tahoe faces a looming criminal contempt charge. This is more than a court win. It is a symbolic blow to unchecked power and political abuse. For Kamar, those papers mean more than business. They represent justice. Long delayed, but finally arriving.
Court Friday, Henyard signed them after the judge threatened her with contempt. After the licenses were signed, the judge found Henyard in indirect criminal contempt, but she wasn't taken into custody.
There are different kinds of contempt. What that means is that in the presence of the court, the mayor was disrespectful to the authority of the court because she was asked by the judge, will you sign the licenses, yes or no? And instead of answering the judge's question, she was, she didn't talk in circles. So because of that, the judge held her in indirect criminal.
Max Solomon, representing Henyard, argued that the licenses signed today were for a different entity, and that is why things took longer than expected, and explained the holdup. But Kamar sees things differently. She says the drawn-out process cost her not only money, but valuable time. She believes Henyard should be held accountable for the damages caused. Beyond the financial hit, the emotional weight of pushing through endless hurdles has left her drained. Now, she is focused on holding the mayor responsible and reclaiming what this ordeal has taken from her.
We want her to be fined, we want her to pay my client's attorney's fees, and we want damages.
We are wasting money every day. This building, nice building that people could have used, and jobs.
As for that criminal contempt charge, the judge is giving Mayor Henyard time to respond. This matter heads back to court next week. Reporting from the Daily Center, I'm Regina Waldrop, NBC5.
Frankly, the judge should have locked her up for that contempt charge, just like they would have for anyone else. These explosive outbursts are nothing new. This behavior has practically become the norm for the city girl mayor. That restaurant should have been open months ago, creating jobs and revenue for the village. Instead, Tiffany Tahoe dragged her feet, just like she has with countless other businesses, while continuing to rack up charges on the village and township credit cards. And these claims are not based on rumors. There is a trail of evidence. Over a year ago, a whistleblower came forward and accused Tiffany Tahoe of intentionally blocking licenses for those who would not fall in line politically. I saw what happened firsthand. What she did to me and so many others was indefensible. Sisha Williams is now one of 3 former staffers suing Mayor Henyard and the village of Dolton. She says the work environment began to crumble the moment the mayor asked her to start doing unethical things, like denying licenses to anyone who did not support her or who had fallen out of favor. Williams tried to sound the alarm, but was quietly pushed to the water department and eventually fired. At that time, I was the only one trained to process business licenses. They still removed me, she explained. I covered this when it first broke, and it was clear then this so-called city girl mayor was using her power to punish those who would not contribute to her political machine. What she did to Kamar is straight from the same playbook. It is shameful and getting worse now. Tiffany Tahoe has even bigger issues. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot has wrapped up a year-long probe into how this city girl took control of a thriving village and turned a multi-million-dollar surplus into a mountain of debt. Just last night, the community gathered for a crucial update. Here is what happened. Lightfoot Investigation, good evening. I am Erica Sargent, and I am Joe Donnan. We begin tonight with major developments. A long-awaited financial investigation into a suburban mayor is now public. Dolton is drowning in deficit tanned. Its citizens want answers. We are live from the Dolton Park District, where former Mayor Lori Lightfoot is preparing to reveal the findings. Ari Montour is on the scene. Ari, you have been following this from the beginning. What can we expect? Erica Jo Mayor Lightfoot just arrived moments ago. Her report is expected to shed light on major financial mismanagement in Dolton. This is being presented as the village's official audit. The room is nearly packed. Just a handful of empty seats remain. The briefing is set to begin any minute. Last year, Dolton trustees hired Lightfoot to investigate missing financial records, allegedly being withheld by Mayor Henyard. A few months back, she teased some early results like excessive overtime paid to 2 Dolton officers, one of whom was a former deputy chief, effectively doubling their salaries. She also uncovered a staggering $40,000 in Amazon purchases made in a single day, despite the village not having an official Amazon account. But the most jaw-dropping revelation: the village is now running a $3.5 million deficit. And let us not forget Mayor Tiffany Henyard tried to block this probe from happening. She vetoed it, but the board overruled her. The building was packed. Wall-to-wall residents showed up in droves, determined to witness the truth unfold right before their eyes. So why did so many turn out tonight? Because this is history happening live. We have spent 4 years asking for honesty. Some might wonder why invest more money just to recover what was lost. One attendee put it plainly: you need to spend money to get money back. This was no typical board meeting. This was a rare open town hall. Mayor Henyard was not required to attend, and, true to form, she skipped it. Her usual vibe: whatever I do, what I want. But now, Lori Lightfoot's investigation has thrown an intense spotlight on Dolton's financial chaos. The alarm was first raised by trustees back in 2021. Now, this newly released report confirms what many feared: Mayor Henyard's team misled both the board and the people. The Dolton Fieldhouse was filled with anxious residents seeking accountability. I'm beyond upset, said longtime resident Anthony Williams, who showed up hoping to finally get some straight answers, since most of what people knew were just rumors. The report found that village credit card use had gone unchecked for far too long. Trustees were often blocked from accessing spending records. Between 2022 and 2023 alone, Dolton racked up almost $780,000 in charges to those cards. Lightfoot said she could not even determine what many of the purchases were, whether they had anything to do with village business at all. Her audit was consistently stonewalled. The report leaves no doubt Mayor Henyard and her inner circle went out of their way to hide the financial truth. Much of that cover-up is now officially documented in Lightfoot's final findings. When the investigation first kicked off last August, some called it a waste of taxpayer money. That take shocked advocates for reform and local candidates alike. But the audit did not just target Henyard, it pulled in the entire governing body. Even the trustees were questioned on how things got so out of control. Still, current board members stood behind hiring Lori Lightfoot, calling her the only one equipped to get to the bottom of it. When financial updates suddenly stopped coming, trustees knew something was not right. After years of getting stonewalled, Lightfoot's audit finally peeled back the curtain. You probably remember the jaw-dropping $40,000 Amazon spree in one day. Henyard said it was for a village ice rink, but that rink never opened to the public. Although the findings sparked widespread outrage, keep this in mind, this was not a criminal investigation. Mayor Henyard still claims she has done nothing wrong. Reporting from Dolton, CBS Chicago's Guermont, Terry noted Lightfoot's report also uncovered troubling financial activity within Thornton Township. Tomorrow's township board meeting could be a turning point. It will be the first since newly appointed trustee Stephanie Weed officially joined last week. With her on board, the trustees now have a quorum even if Supervisor Henyard decides not to show up again. And with that quorum, the board can finally get back to business, with critical staffing decisions topping the agenda. The simple fact that meetings can now move forward is a win for transparency. Trustees Chris Gonzalez and Carmen are no longer paralyzed. But even with all this evidence out in the open, some residents are still defending Hendra Devon, though. She kept trustees locked out of the village's financial data for over a year while recklessly draining public funds. Just in 2023, Henyard's credit card spending in Dolton alone exceeded $700,000. And that does not even include the wild charges made under her leadership in Thornton Township. Before Henyard took control, the credit card limit there was just $30,000. She bumped it up to $200,000. Spent like the rules did not matter. Let me be clear. If I had not blown the whistle on this over 18 months ago here on YouTube, she would still be doing it unchecked. No reaction from the district attorney. No response from the governor. The only people who kept this fire alive. Everyday citizens from Dolton, the real watchdogs, who never stopped pushing for answers and accountability. Let us not sugarcoat. This is not just bad money management. This is the abuse of public funds. For months now, people have been asking where are the federal authorities. Here is where I stand. They are coming. Mark my words, Tiffany Henyard will be indicted this year. I expect it to happen sometime between April and July. The feds are circling. They are not interrogating her close allies without a reason. Her clock is ticking. But now, I want to hear from you. Were you shocked by any of this? Or have you been watching the signs unfold all along? Huge thanks to Roland C. for your steady support. 10 shoutouts to Creed, Charles A.G., and Samuel 2. If you want to keep this channel going strong, digging into corruption, and telling the stories others ignore, the PayPal link is in the description. And if you are looking for truth from a woman's perspective, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like, share it far and wide, and let us keep the pressure on.